Okay, let's see what we got here. We got audio. Check, 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 check. Yeah, we got that. Looks good. What kind of filters do we have? Plugins do we have here? We just got the NS1 stereo. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. What is that set for? 50%. All right. Gotta check. Gotta check. And then camera's good, lighting's good-ish. You know, at some point, you have to just take what you got. Camera. Let's see. Let's check the camera here. Just what are we bringing this rascal in at? At 4K. Okay. All right. Because we're not streaming 4K today. Because hello Marie, hello Gunner. Check the checklist. I've lost the checklist. I mean, what can I say? Loud and clear. Well, good. Thank you very much. Yeah, generally, I've been doing this sort of what I call a long-term experiment with 4K 60. And it pretty well uses all of the bandwidth that I have here. I have 20 megs up, and I've been streaming 14, which is breaking the rules. Of course, it's 70%. We've dropped back to 1080p 60 today, not because of bandwidth, but mostly because I wanted to be able to do a stream that included replay. And what I found out was that it was just over, doing 4K 60 and replay was just too much for this little PC. But there you go. Hey, Maggie, glad to have you. Welcome. And hello, Stephen. Steve, sorry. So we backed off to 1080p 60 today so that we can do the replay. And I wanted to show off to you guys this little guy. Oh boy, it's sweet. I don't have serial number 00000001, but that's okay. Maybe next time. But this is great. This is the little XKE-14, called the 14 because it has 14 buttons on it. And we're gonna knock this guy out of the park today, I think. We'll see. It's it's an X keys. It's just indestructible. And it's got a long cord. Holy cow. I could just about use this in the room next door. All right, Eric's here. Eric's here. We can get started. And Jan's here. Audio's working fine. Thank you very much. Glad to have you. Thanks for being here. And in fact, I wasn't supposed to be here today. I was supposed to be here. Supposed to be up in North Georgia with a grand boy, but we had Sandy and I came down with colds, and you can't be around grand boys with colds, so we had to stay home this time. We'll go back again in a couple of weeks. So there you go. TJ got 01 and Jan got 02. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. If you love them more. Oh, just teasing. Just teasing. Yeah, TJ's going to be at NAB, and Maggie's going to be at NAB, and Joe DeMax is going to be at NAB, and of course Tim and the vMix crew will be there, and Paul and Tess and the PTC Optics crew. So if you're tuning in, if you're going to NAB, you definitely want to pop in and see the latest greatest from X Keys and PTC Optics, and Bird Dog. Yeah, I don't know if you haven't seen the Bird Dog, the P240 yet, you'll want to stop in Bird Dog and see about that. And they typically come to this show with some gear that they are secretly working on. So you want to take a look there for sure. vMix, I don't know that vMix has anything new going on except, well, new mouse pad. So you would definitely want to get by the vMix booth. It's all in the NAB guide as to what's where. But this ought to be a great show. I'm sorry I can't make it. Yep. Oh, so XKEs and vMix will be nearby, says Maggie in chat. So much so that they could toss a stress ball back and forth. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's going to be too much fun. So IBC sounds like a party. Yes, it does. That will be in the fall, September. We'll see. So it will be fun. It will be fun. All right, Maggie, let's see if this emoji shows up. It does. Look at that. Yeah, good work. Good work, good work, good work. All right. Hello, Chris. Good morning to you. Enjoying his morning coffee while those folks in Europe are having their after dinner coffee. So it's a party. And of course, Eric Taper's here. So we can get going. Funny thing about audio, talking about audio, you know, I'm using the Behringer UMC 404 HD, which is almost exactly the same gear that vMix used to use. I think they use the Behringer UMC 404, which was a slightly different model than the HD. Anyway, I've been working with moving around gear in the studio. Do I have a picture of what my latest iteration of all this stuff is? Who knows? Oh yeah, here we go. So this is my latest piece. This is this is my streaming PC. It's out of the case. It was it for some reason the case and the connectors for the monitors didn't like each other, and the connectors wouldn't seat properly in the video card. So that case is gone with the wind because you got to have monitors. And I don't know that you can see it in that picture, but there is a new card installed in the far right PCIe slot. And that is a PCIe M.2 slot. And we'll just see how that works because all right, we got time for this story. All right, so I want to do replay today. And I've been running 4K 60, but I can't. This machine is not beefy enough to do 4 cameras of instant replay plus 4K 60. It's just not enough muscle. So okay, quick. Here it comes again. Woo! Oh, that's too funny. Hello, Amber. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. So, all right. So we're doing 4K 60. We're doing 4K 60. Can't do replay and 4K 60. The PC just won't. It'll handle one or the other. Can't handle both. So we've backed off to 1080p 60. And I've installed a separate drive just for the replay. It's installed as a PCIe slot because even though I've got 3 slots on my motherboard for M.2, those little chip, SSDs, one of them is a PCIe 4 slot, and which is faster than PCIe 3, which would be a great place to put a replay SSD. So I thought, until I installed it in there, my system says, I don't see this. You don't have, you don't have the right processor. You got a 10th generation processor. It takes an 11th gen processor to see PCIe 4 on this Asus Z590A motherboard. So, long story short, I had to give up something, and I wasn't giving up replay because today's entire show is going to be about replay. I mean, that's the whole reason why we have this fancy controller here. Look at this guy. I mean, this is just amazing. And it's got a smooth action T-bar, 14 customizable buttons, but we are going to use it in a preset. I can't tell you all that now. Anyway, we're going to use it in a preset that in vMix that TJ made. And we're going to have to modify that a little bit. Just a little bit, I think. I'm not sure. TJ's got it set up for 3 double-sized keys. And I think we may do 1 double-sized key. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. I need a couple extra buttons. That's the thing. And so the doubles take buttons that I'd really like to have. I really would like those buttons back. Anyway, so, sorry, 1080p 60 today and replay. And we'll see how the replay does. It's a really fast SSD, but the bottleneck is going to be the PCIe bus. It's my guess. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll all work out just fine. And in unrelated news, we have a cat washing event going on today. Because she's got into something she shouldn't have gotten into, Zelda did. Plain water wasn't enough. You know, we wash our dog in Dawn because it is it kills fleas. Not that we have a problem with fleas, but we thought, you know, just in case one shows up somewhere. Okay, one more quick piece of CPU nudity, PC nudity, and then we'll start the show. Woo! There you go. Okay. You were warned. Can't say you weren't warned. All right, let's get this show in the air, shall we? We're going to use our handy dandy XK-80, and we're going to push the pink button. Look out. Well, hello and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. Hat tip again, Martin K. for the great intro. There'll be an outro very similar to it at the end of the show. So you'll want to stick around for that. Really excited about a new offering from XKeys from PI Engineering. We're going to show that in just a minute. In fact, we're going to spend most of the show talking about that. But I wanted to alert you, if you're just now tuning in, that we're not streaming in 4K today. Normally, we will stream 4K 60 as kind of a long-term experiment with just, you know, how's that working? What kinds of pieces of tech fall off the edge? You know, what do we have to look out for? We have 20 megs of upload bandwidth, and we're using 14 of those when we do 4K 60. So we're using 70% of our available tested bandwidth. Remember, what you get sold is not always what you have. And if you look closely at the contract, depending on the contract, I think in some places they say they're only going to guarantee 80% of what they sell you. So anyway, AT&T has been great. It's 20%, it's 20 megs up all the time. I think there was one time after a hurricane where we were stuck at 16 for a while until they fixed something. Anyway, we're getting our 20 megs up, but today we're only streaming 1080p 60. We're streaming that at 6 megabits per second, so we've got some bandwidth left over we should have used for something else. Anyway, the reason for that is I want to do a demo of the new XKeys, XKE-14. That'll get you one right there. XKE-14 as a backpack replay controller for vMix. Just a simple, throw it in your backpack with your laptop and whatever else you need to make a stream happen, and it will work. And so what I found out when I was testing in pre-show, yes, I did test this in pre-show, a rarity, I will acknowledge, but I did test it. And what I found out was that the video in the replay was in slow motion at 100% speed. And that's because I was overtaxing my system. I thought I was overtaxing the solid state drive that I was using as a replay drive. So I added an extra solid state drive to my system and had to go through some configurations to get that found by the system. But even that didn't help. The idea, I think it's just too much on the processor. I've got an i9 10 core processor, and I think I just need more horsepower if I'm going to do 4K 60 and replay. So right now we're going to do 1080p 60 and replay. And I've added replay to this production right here. I'm going to show you my desktop in just a second. I don't have any cameras that I can show with replay. So what I've done is I've taken 3 video clips from a basketball game, and I am looping those back to outputs 2, 3, and 4 in vMix. If you've ever done that or know about that, you basically know that replay doesn't accept video, a video file, but it will accept a vMix output. So I can route these videos to output and then tell replay, hey, go look at these outputs. I can't use output 1 because you get output 1, but I can use outputs 2, 3, and 4. And so I have essentially 3 cameras of replay today for this. So we will do that. I made the mistake of looking at chat, and John said, so the show will start over and over and over. I'm thinking, oh golly, what did I do this time? Hopefully nothing. Hopefully you guys are getting it the way it's intended to be seen. All right. So we've got a lot of replay. We've got a lot of X keys here. We've got the XKE-80, which is our main controller. Now this is not set up like anything that you would use. This is just set up with buttons that are here, that are in the places that I'm familiar with. This is not an approved production setup by any means, but it works. It works. And I know, and I love the tactical feel because I can hit the bottom right-hand corner button, and that's my cough button. So I know if I need to cough, boom, there it goes. So, but what I am also using, oh, and by the way, in vMix, that is, what do they call that? We're going to look at it here real quick together, you and me. So we're going to go here. Let's put that guy there. And we're going to go into shortcuts. We'll take the back door into shortcuts here. And we'll look here, shortcuts, and see. We'll go to MIDI settings, channel mapping. And okay, so our XK60 is set for channel 2. That's important. And our XKT bar is set for channel 3. And you notice here in my shortcuts, I've got a lot of them that are set for channel 2, like 2:44. You know, that's a key on the X keys. But the 3s down here at the bottom, MIDI note 3-3, that is a key on the X keys XKE-14. So there we go. So we got that. We're down. We're good with that. All right. So we've got that. And this is the guy. This is the controller. Now it has a, excuse my French, a long ass cable. I don't know how long it is, but it's long enough to get over to my server over there with still some spare cord. So I'm pretty impressed. It's got 6 rows of keys down this side, 6 rows of keys down this side. That's right. And 2 left in the center. Plus you've got this great T-bar. The reason for the T-bar and the reason for this little guy for replay is that the T-bar gives you the ability to slow and speed up the replay of whatever it is you're replaying. And again, it's that tactical feel. You don't have to look at it. You just put your hand over there. You can slow it down and all the way to 0, as a matter of fact, and then speed it back up again. Boom. There you go. There you go. And I think for a one-man operator, could be a woman, could be, won't be a cat, Marie. For a one-person operator, for a single operator that wants to do replay and do the rest of their production too, they've got the ability. Again, it's a T-bar. They can hit a button. Well, we'll show you the buttons in just a second, but they can hit a button, initiate a replay, change the speed, switch the camera position, and then boom, they're back out. So there you go. I love that. You see there aren't any lights on because we haven't programmed it with activators yet. And activators will tell us what's going on. But we have programmed it with, what do you call those things? Oh yeah, shortcuts. So we programmed it with shortcuts. Hopefully we haven't initiated any shortcuts that were important or are going to damage anything as we've been pressing these buttons. The controller itself is a good weight. It's not going to scoot around on your desktop like the plastic ones. It's got 4 rubber feet on the bottom, so it's really going to do a good job of kind of anchoring itself down. Yeah. It's not moving here on my desktop. Wish I had a camera I could show you. It's not moving on my desktop. It is also set at a nice angle, so it's not going to be flat like this, but it's going to be at an angle where your fingers can run up and down the keys very, very naturally and normally. It appears to be an extruded aluminum case and aluminum top. The keys are plastic, and these particular keys, the keycaps, easily come off. There we go. There's a keycap that came off. So even if you have something that changes all the time, you can just put a piece of Post-it note or something there, and you've got a new keycap. Haven't heard back yet from XKeys, but I'm hoping that they're going to have a replay keycap set for this. I know that TJ kind of repurposed his big replay, some of his big replay keys, and set it up like that. But he basically sacrificed the keys from his replay controller. So anyway, it would be nice to have something that was colorful and looked better than than some of the keys that I've done here. Although some of these don't look bad. I mean, I took some time with some of these years ago. I took no time with some of these others. All right. So that is the replay controller. Again, the concept is that this will go in a backpack with a laptop. We've got some laptops in stock actually right now that have Thunderbolt ports on them. So, there's an ability to input 4 cameras through Thunderbolt. And the same laptops also can use dual SSDs. So you have one SSD for your programs and operating system, and then the second SSD would be for replay. I haven't tested it yet, but I think you'll be able to record to the first one and then do replay to the second one. So there you go. And so you can put in any size SSD that you can find. Matthew says they also support the big keycaps, and that's right. So you can take off, these two. Whoops. Whoops. Careful the keys you press. But for example, you could take off these 2 keys and replace it with a double key, or take off these 4 keys and replace it with a quad key. Yeah. And in fact, it comes, I don't have the setup here, the extras here, but it comes with 3 double keys that have a pop top, so that you can label them yourselves. Hello, Ken. Ken Benedict, who just showed up in chat. That's it. If you can't make it here on time, just come whenever you can. Ken is going to be the first recipient from one of these from Eastern Shore Broadcasting. He put his order in before we even got these in stock. We have a small number of those, so we want to make sure that if you want one, you get one. So if you think you want one, give me a shout out and I'll set it aside for you until you can get your financing straight. They're only $229, so it's not a huge investment. It's not $1,000 investment. So those people that are talking about NAB and how they can't wait to be there and see each other, y'all are going to get banned from this forum because I can't go and it's not fair. All right, let's do a replay. So we got the controller here, and I'm gonna hold it up, and let me just give you an idea of the kind of video that we're working with. So let's get that video moving. So we've got this camera right here. This is camera 1, and that's sort of a close-up shot. We've got camera 2, and then we've got camera 3, which is a floor cam. And those will be the 3 cameras that we will be working with for the replay. So what I want to do is let's see, what shall we do? We shall let's bring up replay on our second monitor right here. Yep, there we go. And why don't I just show you that second monitor? So let's add a desktop capture. It's hard to do when there's 2 screens involved, but let's just pick one and see if we can't get one for you here. That's not the right one. Wish vMix had thumbnails for their desktop capture so you knew what it was you were getting. Let's try that one. That's not the right one either. Well, I've only got 3 monitors, so I've got one more to choose from, and that'll be display 3. There we go. And before we even send it to you, let's sharpen it a little bit so that it's as clear as it can be. All right, and this is what the vMix replay looks like. And let's have a little bit of fun with it, shall we? And of course, we're going to have fun with it. But let's see, what have we got right here? Number 80. Let's just pop me into it for just a second. So we'll go to layers and we'll bring number 80 in there. 80 is my image, but through a vMix mix input, which means that I can take it and go like this, and then I can also crop it, and it'll crop. Since this is a chroma key input, it won't always crop correctly. All right, let's just bring that over here for the moment. We probably need a 4-up screen so that we can show you this. Well, let's do this first and then see how it goes. All right, so you can see the buttons here in vMix, but here on the controller, they're not marked yet. But this top right button is the record button. And when I press that, things will start happening here. So you see the live button came on, and I'm covering it up with me right here, but where I am is where a timer starts. And then right below that button, and this is all, TJ's concept of what it would look like. We can change this around. This would be a 5-second button. So this will give us a 5-second replay. Below it would be a 10-second button. And below that would be a 15-second button. And the buttons can be changed to be any amount of time you want. So it's record, 5, 10, 15. And then these 2 buttons right here are together as a play button. Now, the top one of the 2 doesn't do anything. We can push it, and it's not going to do anything. The bottom one is going to initiate a replay, like I did accidentally just a minute ago. And so it's going to go in and do our replay. And are we recording? We're recording video that's just frozen. So let's go back and start our video again. Where is replay? There they are. Let's put those guys on loop. That way they'll get going. All right. So let's go back here. Sorry about that. And we'll get those guys moving. And we'll try again. So let's make a 5-second clip. add to our clip list, and we're going to play it. And so, boom, there it is. Now it's going to play. A little bit of slow video here. And again, I think I'm probably overtaxing my system. But we can slow it down even further if we wanted to. Ooh. And that cute little baby, of course, is grandson number 3. All right, so that's buttons down the right-hand side. Across the bottom, the way TJ has it laid out, we have the 2 top buttons right here are a mark in button, and the 2 buttons right here are a mark out button. And I think only one of those actually works. So we're going to go with a mark in, and that's going to have a set start point for our video, and then we're going to do a mark out, and that's going to give us 8.57 seconds of a clip that we can take and replay again. So we'll replay our 8 clip, and then our buttons over here on the right, which you can't see right this second, but they allow us to change the camera view. Excuse me, goodness gracious. So during the course of the replay itself, we can change these buttons, and it'll give us a different view on the camera. So that's going to be buttons 1, 2, and 3 right here, and then 4 would be for a 4th camera that we don't have connected. So it's really fairly simple at this point. It's going to be the ability to start and stop the replay, the recording of all 3 cameras in this case, but it could be 4 cameras, and then a 5, 10, and 15 second, and then the ability to play, mark in, mark out, and then shift cameras 1, 2, 3, 4, and then of course adjust speed. I think it's going to be the bomb. I think it's going to be the bomb. In fact, I've been planning and plotting, trying to figure out, what events are going on around me that I can take this little guy out and play with him, and show everybody, what he does and how he does it. Because number one, I'd like to get some more familiarity with it, and number 2, I just think it's fun. So these are $229. They were available in the store. They still are, but the QR code disappeared. So there you go. Yep, it's good gear. The XKE stuff is good gear. It's not going to leave you high and dry like a Stream Deck will when there's some sort of update somewhere and you lose all your shortcuts. It will be very reliable, very reliable. So if you're looking for reliable gear that's durable, that's going to be the one. And if you're going to NAB, you can see them, or you can order one and we'll send you one. You won't get it before. Yeah, well, you might get it before NAB. Ken is not going to get his before NAB. If he goes to NAB, it will be waiting for him when he gets home. So that is the story with that. Yep. It's good stuff. I've enjoyed a great relationship with the folks at XKeys, with Maggie and Miranda when she was there, and Dan when he was there, and all the rest of the crew. They are number one, they're good people, and they've got very reliable gear, and it's all made in the U.S. So there's plus. So there we go. Logan says, if you can bring it at the end of April and do some replays, I can feed you 4 cameras in Loxley. Ooh, is that at the racetrack? That might be fun. The end of April. I think I'm out of town. I think I have a baby trip. We'll see. If not, there's going to be something, some chance somewhere. Yep, some chance somewhere. Ryan Eric accepts Billy Coates at payment. Well, maybe we'll see. Yes, I think I was overtaxing my system a little bit, John. It still was 1080p 60 and replay and live stream for this little system was too much. And maybe I just need to tweak it. Just need to tweak it. There you go. There you go. Yeah, some of what I did today, I didn't test before I brought it to you. So we'll find out. We'll find out. What else we got going on? I put together a nice little travel kit when I thought I wasn't going to be here in the studio today. Sandy and I ended up coming down with colds, and so we had to cancel our grandson visit. And it was an MSI laptop with dual SSDs and a Thunderbolt, whatever version they've got now, 4, Thunderbolt 4 port. And we've got a little device that you can plug Thunderbolt into that'll take 4 HDMI cameras. So we're going to take that and replay controller and see if we couldn't come up with a sweet little replay system. Based on the experience here today with a little bit of lag at 1080p 60, my guess would be that we would have to go back to 720p 60 or 1080p 30 in order to make that work on that laptop. But we'll try it again here too. But we're doing, right now, this system at 1080p 60 is doing a render time of 15 milliseconds. That's a little high. GPU memory is 83%. CPU memory for vMix is 23%. Total CPU is 33%. So the CPU numbers are down, but the render time is up. Let's just double check since we played around with the system so much. Let's make sure it is using the NVIDIA card. Okay. That's as it should be. So there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. I hear some folks, change gears for just a second. I hear there is a move afoot to do a Streaming Idiots meetup at NAB, despite my absence. And RJ Murdoch and Scott Pienta and Chris Z and others are putting that together, and they're communicating through the Streaming Idiots Facebook group. So if you're interested in a meetup, go check out the thread that they've got going there about NAB meetup. And and maybe you can hook up with it. It's a lot of fun. Great guys. It's not going to be the same kind of party that we've had in the past, but heck, it could be better. You just never know. You just never know. What else can we talk about here? The X keys went faster than I anticipated because it's such a simple little device. Probably ought to get some measurements on it. They're probably on the website, but I would say that guy is probably 7 inches. Well, this is 8 inches right there. So yeah, this guy's 6.5 inches long and probably 3 inches wide and 2 inches tall, but with the T-bar, it's probably 3 inches tall. If I were putting this in my backpack, I would want to have something that provided a little bit of support to the T-bar. I just wouldn't want to stress that bar. I remember the very first X Keys controller that I got. Oh, this must have been 8 years ago. Dan sent me. It was the XKE-14, maybe. It was the first T-bar, big wide controller T-bar. And it came in and the T-bar was dangling. It did not ship well, but I think they've fixed all about that. Oh, Maggie says it's 3 by 7 by 3. So there you go. So we were close. We were close. That measurement has not changed in years. So, oh, and it just does USB 2. It doesn't need USB 3. So there. So I'll look forward to getting some backlighting here so that we can know, for example, which camera we're on, which camera we've selected. Maybe something if we've got a mark in, if that mark in button is still flashing to let us know we need to do a mark out, something like that. Yep. So there you go. Good little guy. Good little guy. Well, let's pop over to the post show and garner some comments and see what you guys have been chatting about in my absence. So we're going to do the outro. Martin K. Well, there we go. Well, thank you, Maggie. Appreciate your hard work in getting these little guys to me. I think Maggie may have boxed these up herself personally. Yep. So you never know. You never, ever know. Logan says I can bring it at the end of April and do some replays. He can feed me 4 cameras in Loxley. Now, Loxley is a community here in Alabama that is near Interstate 10. Those of you in Texas and California, Southern California, know Interstate 10 because it runs right across the bottom of the U.S. and it runs right by us. So if you're on I-10 coming through Alabama, honk your horn. We'll probably be able to hear it. But Logan, where's Logan's note? Oh, it's already moved to another page. Says they're using the Jog X keys currently. That would be a good one, especially if you're interested in trying to edit some videos kind of on the fly. Having the Jog shuttle makes it helpful. April 28th, 29th. Let's check those dates. April 28th, 29th. Yeah. I leave early morning, Saturday morning, the 29th, and I'll be gone for 3 days, 4 days. And I don't think I could get out of the house Friday night. Not leaving early Saturday morning. I'll be packing. But rain check. That would be so much fun. Not sure what this is going on. You just need to know that all sorts of things get started when nobody is monitoring, when nobody is the admin in the chat. Yes, that's probably when, oh yeah, here it is. When I hit record. Wonder where did I say I was recording to? Recording to the new drive that I just put in that was M.2 drive on a PCIe card. PCIe card. We'll have to test that. That may not have been the best place to do it, or it may not have been the best slot to put it in. I put it in the easiest slot, but I think that slot is it's shared with SATA, but I don't think I have any SATA on my system. So yeah. Tommy, I'll have you know, I started that quote right there. Test, test, test. That's mine. That is not Tim's. Tim thinks he invented that, but I had it first. There you go. So Logan does edit some clips for social media. Yeah, it's a dirt track. Is that the Five Flag Speedway, or is that over in Pensacola? I don't know. It's the, what is it? Deep South Speedway, something like that. Um, Sometimes they stick together. Sometimes they do. Not planning to. Not planning to. June is a busy travel month for me. Just had a grandson 3 weeks ago, and so we're trying to visit him whenever we can, and already had some plans on the books to visit my mom, who turns she turns 90 next month. And she is a treat. Um, Holy cow, no telling what she will say next. Oh my gosh. That's right. I did make you a moderator a while back. Oh my gosh. Oh. Deep South Speedway. There you go. So they're on the road in Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Florida. Good deal. Good deal. Logan, post your website so folks can watch if they're interested in dirt track. There are desktops with 2 separate Thunderbolt 3 connections. There are also desktops with 0. Actually, this one has a Thunderbolt header on the motherboard, but I haven't used it. Yeah, I think there's some laptops that have got dual Thunderbolt. The one that I've got here is single Thunderbolt, and it's not 3, it's 4, which I think is a little faster. But for what we're doing, it probably doesn't make a whole lot of difference. I mean, once you've got enough bandwidth to cover 4 cameras, I mean, I guess you could go to 4 cameras at 60 frames a second or whatever. Yep. Oh, I see. Jan was answering this question. Are there a PC or laptop with 2 Thunderbolt connections capable of 2 AJA IO3s? So there you go. And Eric is going to do NCAA baseball and softball. You're doing 2 games the same day at 2 different venues, because we know they don't play softball and baseball venues and baseball and softball venues. Holy cow. That's great. Make sure to exactly, Marie. Give me a shout out and let me know how it went. I'm reading through some of the other chat in here, and it's just like, oh my gosh. Two different games, 2 different venues, same day. Holy cow. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Eric's got some interesting ways he's sort of reprogrammed his X keys. Ah, you know, we were brought up, at least I was brought up. You may have had a different experience, but I was brought up that sharing was good, that you should share. But in the computer world, we don't want to share bandwidth. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, you are going to be busy. Although baseball, I don't know about softball, but baseball is the most boring sport on the face of the earth. Perhaps only surpassed by shuffleboard. My boys played baseball growing up. They loved it until they started playing soccer. And then they're like, I can stand around the outfield picking daisies, or I can run around. So they just want to run around. Is that still there? I thought I got rid of that. That's not still there, is it, Tommy? Oh, that's funny. I set up sort of a sandbox where I could buy things for a penny to make sure it was working. Maggie, here's your answer. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 X keys working. Holy cow. No problem. So here, yeah, we'll show you this one again so you can see. Eric is really 2 people at the same time. And that shows up. Good job, Maggie. Maggie's got the emojis going. Well, Tommy, you just have to come down and pick it up. Just have to come down and pick it up. And Eric is going to give us some picks. That's great. Oh, what venue and what games? Just out of curiosity. And will this be ESPN3 or a private feed from the school? It'd be good to know. Yeah, we had the pleasure of developing some systems for some schools lately. Tommy's ankle bracelet won't let him leave home. Yeah, he talks like a bad guy. Oh, of course. Yeah. The private feed. Pay-per-view. Love to see, love to see some clips of your setup. And Marie is keeping the ball rolling. There we go. All right. Well, let's get uh-oh, there you go. Only a short way away. And there you go. All right, folks, we're going to have to close this out. We got work to do. Much as I'd love to hang out with you guys, I'd love to be there with you at NAB. I hope you have a great time. And I hope you wipe vMix out of mouse pads and you annoy all the people at the XKEs booth. And you go over and steal all the cameras from the PTZ Optics booth, take them to the Bird Dog booth, and plug them in. So there you go. I wonder if pranks are big. That would be fun to do a really good prank at NAB. And I don't mean like, really stealing somebody's stuff. That's the vMix guys have played with that one. Yep. We will see you guys next week. Take care and God bless. And we'll come up with something cool for next week, I'm sure. Not sure what, but you just never know. Just never know.